Voices is the newest feature to the DOA channel. This is a podcast where the outdoors comes alive from the people who live it. Each episode brings you face-to-face with hunters, anglers, and adventurers as they share their stories, their lessons, and their voices. More than just tales of the wild, Voices dives into the person behind the adventure, capturing the grit, gratitude, and wisdom that make outdoor life unforgettable. Available in both audio and video, every conversation is posted on YouTube so you can see and hear the stories as they unfold. For years, I've invited you into the raw wilderness that captures those moments of the outdoors. Standing just yards away from big game, feeling the surge of adrenaline as an arrow leaves the string, and sharing the flood of emotions that follow a harvest. Alongside the triumphs, I've opened up about the hard lessons and the mental battles that come with facing the wild landscapes of Alberta. These experiences have built a foundation of authenticity and connection with my audience, and now I'm expanding that journey. Voices is where I bring in the people who inspire me. Hunters, anglers, and adventurers, so together we can share their voices, their challenges, and their outdoor journeys with the community that we're building. Voices, a podcast by DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures. Voices is brought to you in part by Wapiti River Outdoors. Every elk hunt tells a story, and mine begin with Wapiti River elk reeds, crafted locally here in Alberta. Their calls are built for authenticity, and they've become the voice I rely on in the backcountry. Visit WapitiRiverOutdoors.com for all your elk reeds, bugle tubes, elk accessories, and trail cameras. Today's guest is a guy who lives and breathes the wild places. Logan Johnson is an avid bow hunter with a track record that speaks for itself. From bears to bull moose to a couple of trophy whitetails, he spent years studying and chasing. His dedication to the craft has earned him recognition from the Alberta Bowhunters Association, and his passion for adventure keeps him exploring new country every chance he gets. He's the kind of hunter who doesn't just collect tags. He collects stories, lessons, and a whole lot more. Logan, welcome to the show.
Really appreciate it, Jeff. That was probably a way better intro than I could have even said myself.
It's funny because with like you and the other guests that I've had, it's like I know these people that I'm hosting a podcast with, and it's weird because I'm like, what else do I say? What else do I know? And when I'm going through it, I'm always amazed of what else I know about that person once I dig in a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I always try to put in something that might surprise the guest. So yeah, I'm glad you liked the intro.
Worked great. It was smooth. Loved it.
Awesome. How's things? I mean, I guess at the time of this recording, we are February, as I look at my date, 26th.
Yeah. What happened to February?
Yeah, it's gone, and it feels like hunting season was yesterday, but it also feels like it's been so long ago. And I don't know where your brain goes to this time of year, but mine goes to spring bear, and then it goes to elk, and I'm already looking 9 months ahead, and there's never really an off season, at least in my mind anyways.
Yeah, no, there's no time for an off season for me either. It's crazy how one runs into another. Like we were talking just a couple minutes ago before recording, like I basically just cleaned up from last hunting season like a couple weeks ago, as embarrassing as that is. But that's just how it rolls. Like you end hunting season, you maybe jump into hunting some coyotes, maybe getting some early ice fishing. And then all of a sudden I got into trapping. So doing some trapping just around here on private land and getting into some coyotes. And that's been super fun. Then at the same time, antlers are dropping and you want to go out and find sheds. But then also, February, March is really good for ice fishing too. So you want to get, it's like, you just see my garage right now. Like behind me is the clean side because I basically went like this. I'm
going to be on camera. Let's make this look organized.
Yeah. See, that's about as good as you get. If I spun this around, Might blow your mind.
Yeah, no, and I guess where all of your followers that follow you, we're up to speed on what you've been doing since the end of the big game season and whatnot. But for those people maybe listening that don't follow you, let us know where we can find you on the socials or where we can follow you at.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I think under Bowhunter Logan, or Logan Daniels kind of personal page. Add me on both, more the merrier. Instagram, it's bowhunter.logan. That's kind of what I use the most. It's attached to threads, things like that too. I'm a part of the Bowhunter Brotherhood, which is a really cool group, mainly in the States. I'm kind of one of the only Canadians right now out of our group. So I'm kind of way off in their left field, which is kind of fun because I get to add a little bit of our terrain, our animals into the storyline. So they're pretty cool too. If you want to check them out, like I said, Bowhunter Brotherhood, they're on all the socials as well.
For sure. And I guess for those listening, that might be hard to write down. But if you're watching on the YouTube channel, I've just posted a picture of all those handles where you can find Logan. So if you're listening, I encourage you to also watch, because as we get through this episode, I'm going to be putting a whole bunch of videos and pictures about the stories that Logan is going to share. And it's just, it's great to see. And you get to see our smiling faces. So that's another plus.
What could be better?
What could be better? Let's talk about that. Like shed hunting. Have you had a chance to be out lately? I know I've been out once. I found one little one. I've walked a few trails and the snow was really deep. And I was like, oh, wow, this is still really hard. And I kind of, in my mind, I'm like, let's give it another month. They won't be fresh. But have you been out at all?
I mean, we've had such a goofy year, right? With cold and extreme cold temperatures, then getting pounded with 1.5 feet of snow, then for things warming up and almost reducing the snow to nothing in the bush, and then to that much more snow and ultra freezing temperatures again. Like it's been a roller coaster here in Alberta, as everyone knows, or at least we know as Albertans. Like it's been kind of crazy. So I haven't been out, but I've been doing lots of trapping, so I'm kind of like poking my head, if all of a sudden I see a deer trail, let's go take a little walk kind of thing. Yeah. But I haven't found any yet. I have a couple of spots that I'd really like to get to, but the reason why I haven't gone out there is simply the snow. I think, the timing has been a little off. I think maybe because it was a tougher year on the deer with all of those extreme weather changes, that some might have lost really early, which is good, but they could be buried under 1 foot of snow right now. So I'm going to wait till things dry up a little bit, I think. Now that trapping's done, I want to get a little ice fishing time in and hopefully do some shed walks as well. So far my tally is at zero.
Yeah, no, you're right. With that weather, it's been crazy. And I've been out there and it's funny. You take, at least I do. I take 20 steps and I stop and I'm like, how far did I go? And I'm like, are you serious? I took 20 steps and it's just, I got Nala, my dog, with me, and she's kind of breaking through the snow, and then she'll find a hard pack and she'll go, and the trails are there. Like the deer have pounded the trails that they normally do. And for me, I run one of my trail cameras there year round, just because it's a funnel where they go. And it's just, for me, it's entertainment. But I'm kind of worried because every year, December, January, February, all the big bucks come by, they gather there, they do their thing. And this year has been I haven't seen the big ones. And I'm scared. I'm like, is someone feeding them somewhere else? Are they wintering somewhere else? There's feed around. I don't know. I'm kind of worried what I'll find. But do you think this winter's going to take a toll on the animals? Do you think there'll be a lot of winter kill?
Yeah, I really do. I've seen it already. Like I said, the main reason why I've been out in the bush is trapping coyotes. So, with the snowmobile as well, a little bit getting to and from those spots, I'll veer off a little bit and kind of, if some deer trails have intersected through one of my permissions kind of thing, I'll go check it out. But found a couple winter kills. One was kind of a potential shooter buck for this year, which is extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
Just a really nice, healthy, mature deer. So why or what got him, I don't know. Um, if it was coyotes, I mean, they can pull down a completely healthy, mature deer.
Yeah.
Or if it was just the tough conditions or a combination of both, or, a little bit of something else. It could have been a little sick or malnourished or who knows, but it might be a little bit of a battle for him this year. I believe so, at least.
Yeah. And it's weird. Like we talk about that weather and like the melt. I mean, I know a lot of places just turn to solid ice with snow on top. They can't paw through that. They can't get to food and whatnot. And yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm scared for what I'll find in the spring, but let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah. You cross your fingers. I mean, I've seen still pretty good numbers in general, make it up to this point. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever you want to do. I think we're through the real thick of it. It's Alberta. You never know what March and April can hold. We might get a good snowstorm, but really hoping that those extreme cold temperatures that make that ice, really hard, really fast over those food sources. I think we're beyond that now. So hopefully they're good to go from here.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about that. You have been doing coyote trapping. Is this your first year that you've been doing that, or did you dabble a little bit in that last year as well?
I kind of tagged along with a trapper friend last year, basically just as an observer, learning in his shop, from how to build snares, things like that. So I got my trapper's course and license this year. So doing it on my own, on private permission around where I hunt, which is awesome. So yeah, this is kind of my first kick at the cat. Learning a ton. There's so much to learn, but it's been a blast. And I've been taught the right way, I feel. Really happy that my buddy Clay has spent some time with me, showing me the right way to do things. Like a lot of what I've done has been built and not purchased. Like I started off building all my snares. I don't know if, like you said before, if you follow me, you might have seen one of my latest projects. I built a fleshing beam out of a birch tree that we cut down when we were way back in the bush.
And that was kind of like your initiation, you said on that story you posted. You're like, if you're going to do this, you got to build and make your own fleshing beam. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I really felt like that's kind of almost, how do you call it? You're way into the almost that trapping world, as if you build your own fleshing post. I think that's really cool, and I'm really glad that Clay pushed me to do that. Because you could, of course, just go buy one or, build something cheap, but he kind of showed me the right way and something that'll last me basically forever, right? If it's treated properly and something doesn't happen to it, it's going to last a long, long time. And I think that's part of it, right? It's those old school mentality, those old school values that encompass trapping, because it's one of those trades that were one of the original trades back when Canada was being formed, if you want to go back that far, right?
Yeah.
So
and you're kind of like even that fleshing pole, that fleshing beam. You're a woodworking guy, so if I remember this correctly, you've built like a lot of your own bases and pedestal for some of your mounts, right? Like you're a handy dude. You're into a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'm into probably way too many things, but I really like working with wood and building things. I built a really cool base for my life-size bear mount, and a pedestal mount that I custom built for my dear Ricky. I really enjoy it. My grandfather was a woodworker. I tagged around with him basically, my whole life as a younger kid, and just, trying to fill his shoes and learning everything I possibly could at the time. So it's kind of neat. And another really cool thing about that fleshing beam is I got to use one of my late grandfather's tools, which is a draw knife that he actually remade the handles for, the wooden handles. He would do that for everything, right? Remake handles for, not just axes, hammers, and sledgehammers and things like that. It would be for these custom woodworking tools. And so that was kind of neat. It felt really special and just adds to the whole hobby or way of life, whatever you want to call it. It just feels way more fulfilling.
Yeah, it gives it that more meaningful, something concrete and that history for it. So is it kind of, to take us back, and I know I'm bouncing a little bit all over the place here, but was it like your grandfather that got you into the outdoors and that kind of world and lifestyle, or where did it start, at what age, and who was some of your influencers?
Well, this is kind of a funny story because no one really in my family hunts. I had a couple distant uncles that, we saw once a year, maybe, kind of thing. They were into hunting, but as far as my local family goes, like including my dad or grandfathers, no one hunted.
Okay.
But both sets of grandparents lived on farms, so I was always outdoors, and I kind of took off on my own. Just, started as a kid with a slingshot, slowly graduated to a pellet gun. Finally, dad and grandpa said it was time for a 22, and I'd plink around the farm, that kind of thing. But really what got me into hunting, as funny as it is that's what was on after cartoons in the morning as a kid.
On Saturday mornings.
Okay. Yeah. So when I'd see my dad, not even Saturday mornings, just like when I was really, really young, and I'd see my dad basically off to work, he'd go to work, I'd be having my breakfast by the TV, I'd be watching cartoons, and then hunting shows would come on. And the ones that really, really grabbed me were the bow hunting specific shows, and the ones that I thought were extremely cool were bow hunting in Alberta or Canada or somewhere north, so I could almost relate a little easier. So that's kind of what got the fire going. I mean, my grandfather and dad used to fish a little bit here and there, so that's totally a stepping stone into the outdoors as well. And I think I was 3 when I caught my first fish, and I've been hooked ever since. Like, fishing is still one of my favorite things to do. But it basically grew that hunger to get more and more into the outdoors. And my first job was at Trophy Book Archery in Spruce Grove when I was 15 years old. And
I bought my first bow from Trophy Book Archery in Spruce Grove.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So I was 15 years old. That was my first job. And I live in Stony Plain, and that archery shop was on the far end of Spruce Grove.
Yeah.
So I would ride my bike from Stony Plain to the other side of Spruce Grove to go to work. Once in a while, they'd help me out and throw my bike in the back of their truck and give me a ride home, kind of thing. But that's kind of what kickstarted it. So that's where all the knowledge started to, started from, talking to the other bow techs at the time or other bow hunters and learning. And oh boy, I went through like the school of hard knocks. Like, I was the worst hunter. Like, every animal was safe if I was hunting in the bush. But it took a long time, and I'm really thankful for that because it kind of put me where I am today. Like, and as a kid too, right? Like, it's it's different when you jump into something at an adult, and I don't know, maybe my brain wasn't clicking on, all cylinders. I don't know what it was, but it was cool. I'm super grateful for it. Met a lot of really cool friends that I still have to this day through that.
Yeah.
So that was in 2003. And so now I'm in my, 23rd year of bow hunting. And I rarely ever pick up a gun. I just addicted to bow hunting.
Yeah, no, that's that's a great way to start. Like, even like you say, as a kid, that's what you got attracted to. I mean, some people will argue a lot more worse things out there that you could have got addicted to.
And, for sure.
So I'd have to do the math because I lived out in Spruce Grove for a year and a half. We moved back to the city when my son, who's in a wheelchair and disabled, needed an aid for school, and it just didn't work out in Parkland County. But Yeah, it was probably around that same time. I probably would have seen you in the shop. I would go there and shoot. And I think the guy that used to work on my bow there, his name was Rolly.
Rolly, yeah, I worked with Rolly, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, wow, that takes me back to
chances are I was there.
Yeah. Wow, small world, and awesome. Flip, I'm all over the board here. I'm sorry, I got so much to dig into, but
there's a lot of things. It feels like my garage.
It's
one at a time, Jeff.
Going back to the coyotes that you started trapping and stuff this year. It's great that you're doing it in your bow hunting spot and kind of giving the deer a fighting chance. How many have you trapped so far?
So I'm at 31 coyotes.
Oh, wow.
Which I feel is pretty good. So like I said, they're all from handmade that I built myself. Like I bought the tools and the equipment and supplies to make them.
Yeah.
Which adds a little, something special to it as well. I always love having that personal touch, and I'm always tweaking things. And, even right out of the gate, I'm starting to figure out what I like and don't like and want to change about that. That's just who I am. I have to tinker with it. And if it's not broken, I break it and then try to refix it for whatever reason. That's my motto. I got 31 coyotes this year, which is awesome until the work starts. That's a lot of skinning and a lot of fleshing, which for the most part, I've been kind of using makeshift things to get me by as far as fleshing beams, but I did freeze quite a few pelts or furs, and now that have things more established, because it's year one, right? Not all set up right out of the gate. I tried my best, but there's so many things going on. But now I'm going to go through and learn that side of the process, right? There's so much to learn about how to trap and what to trap and the rules of trapping and that whole thing. And then all of a sudden you trap a whole bunch of animals, which is great. But now it's learning kind of that processing side to get your finished product, which is a little more technical, right? Technical with the knife. And, there's a bunch of new skills to learn and things to pay attention to, as far as even different animals go. So it's really cool. And to start out with coyotes is going to be a fun one.
Did you think, to me, 31 feels, I don't know, it feels like a really high number. Did you think there was that many there? Are you surprised by that number, or what were your expectations?
I was a little bit, and then, maybe less surprised as time carried on. So I did have I set up a bait, which consisted of, I knew I was going to be getting into this. So myself and had, a couple buddies save some of their meat trimmings and leg bones and things from their hunting season. So I'd freeze them into ice blocks and haul them out there. And like you, I had some trail cameras out there because it's entertaining and, you need something to watch when you're at work. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Delete
no one from work is watching.
Delete that one. You just really see the amount of coyotes that are going in there. And it was so funny. The first check I went and I set up pretty decent number. I thought, just to start, I think I set up a dozen snares and I walked around and I didn't catch one thing. I was like, ooh, okay. We're back to this game. School of Hard Knocks. I've been here. All right. I'm going to sit down and pay attention. And then the next check, I think I caught 4 or 5. So it started, kind of started off, slow, but when I got onto it, it really came quick. But you'd almost think things would die down a little bit after, a couple checks of getting like 10, a dozen, 15. Maybe there, it was going to slow down, and it just seemed like, nope, it would keep coming. So I don't really know what the coyote numbers would be in, say, a quarter section. If it was half covered in bush, what number of coyotes that could actually hold. But I think it's a lot more than people think.
Yeah, I know, like from when I'm out there and bow hunting in the fall and whatnot, as hard as it is to recognize coyotes, you can kind of, oh, there's that one again, or you hear them start going off just before dark and whatnot, and on trail cameras. And it's weird. Mine go from, it seems like, years where there's lots and they're aggressive because I have them chasing deer on trail camera in the wintertime. And then I have some that years that it's just like one or two. And I'm like, is that all that's here? And where do they go? Did they find a different source of food and whatnot? So it's yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, no, and I think, like you said before, it's sure I might not have wiped them all out, like definitely not, and not even close. Like it's probably a fairly small impact, but it's going to help the deer no matter what. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that many more sets of teeth that aren't around
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Right.
More,
and I did get a couple
are going to make it in the spring. And
yeah, I mean, sure, I caught some smaller ones, but they were going to grow bigger. And, I caught some females that maybe they would have had X amount of pups this spring, right? So that kind of reduces those numbers a little bit. And I did catch a couple really good size males, which, of course, probably going to be leading the charge as far as the hunt goes or things like that.
Yeah.
And helping out the farmers in the area too, because there are farmers close by that have cows that are, starting their calving season, or even sheep. One of the farmers lost a handful of sheep last year. I mean, that adds up in his, time, effort, money.
It's his livelihood.
Yeah. So trying to help on all accounts. And if I can help my deer too, that's a bonus.
No, for sure. I think one of the questions that I had, and we'll probably get mixed opinions. And I mean, if anyone wants to comment on this, whether it's in the comments or wherever we post this, I remember a couple of years ago, it was a winter very similar to this one. It was hard. And I'm like, man, I want to help the deer. So I grabbed a bale of feed, pail of oats, put it in my sled, and I tramped through knee-high stuff, and I put it out there, and I'm like, yeah, if they feed and helps the deer get through, great. And it was weird because in that spring, when I started walking through, as I started going through my area, I could see all the crows, and I'm like, oh man, there's a kill here. And there was two small deer nearby, like I would say within 100, 150 yards of where I had that feed. And the thought went through my mind, Logan, is did this work against me? Were the deer coming here feeding and the coyotes learned that? So it was like an ambush, and I didn't know, and I felt really guilty. I was kind of like, oh man, I wanted to help, and maybe I didn't. But with you running baits for your snares and stuff, what are your thoughts on that? Is it going to attract the wrong kind of things too, or?
I mean, not for me, because I'm trying to attract them, but I kind of think that might have been the scenario with you. I mean, Mother Nature learns fast, right? Those coyotes, if they're starving and trying to survive too, they come to realize that those deer are walking through some pretty heavy snow, before trails get established, kind of thing, to this, a couple little bales or some feed out in the bush, right? I mean, maybe it could have been a fluke thing too. I mean, it could have been something that was going to happen regardless anyways, right? Yeah. It is a tough world out there for a deer, right?
Yeah.
like they have a lot of obstacles as it is with, especially hunting the bow zone. It's not cars or people or dogs or, hunting is probably one of the smaller ones. Like, coyote population is insane. Oh. Actually, I was going to touch on this, and I feel like a little bit, I don't know. It always seems to come up in conversation, but people are like, oh yeah, you're probably making so much money with all these coyote furs. But in fact, like, the coyote fur industry was almost solely killed by the Canada Goose jackets. So it was a handful of years ago that they kind of gave in to these animal rights and animal cruelty activists, and they stopped using the natural coyote fur around the hoods. Yeah, it was a really Canadian thing, and it was actually really cool. It was actually something that I would almost be proud of, or used to be proud of, when it was. So it was a big puffy winter jacket with Canada goose down inside, which was super, super warm. And then the natural coyote fur, which is soft, lasts forever. I mean, so many benefits of that, and a renewable resource, right?
Yeah.
When that stopped, it just slashed the coyote industry. So I mean, that's kind of a shame. And I don't think it's a shame because I want to make money in it. I think it's a shame because they don't realize the other effects by not having trappers out there keeping the coyote populations in check. So now we have a super high coyote population, and they're getting after more deer, more livestock, more pets. Like, how many people are seeing them in towns now? I mean, it seems like more and more and more. I work in the city of Edmonton, and I see a coyote every day, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of that trickle effect, but yeah, as far as the coyote's value right now, like it's almost nothing. Like I'm not doing it for the money. There's not too many furs that are gonna make you rich these days.
Right.
But it's kind of for that just personal skill building, right? I want to be able to do it. I want to learn it. I want to get good at it. Maybe one day will it bounce back? Will people start to realize that, hey, this is a renewable resource that's like just exploding? Why don't we use it?
Do you think less people are doing it? Less people are hunting, trapping coyotes right now because there's less value to it? It's like, oh man, I can't even give this pelt away.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is a ton of work.
Yeah.
First and foremost, right? It's a lot of time, a lot of work. It's gas money to and from. You usually, not always, but have like a snowmobile or a quad. So that's burning more fuel too.
Yeah.
Everything costs money, right? The snare wire, the snare line, all the little crimps, like building the snares myself. I'm probably saving $1 or $2 or whatever. I don't even know what they sell them for, but because I'm doing the work, I'd imagine I'm saving a little bit, but I'm still putting money into something that I'm realistically not gaining anything. Like I think the value for a coyote right now is, oh boy, I don't know if you could sell the best one you ever get for $30 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, $30, like if one,
you're right.
You're making $30 in 1 hour. Okay. But it takes me a lot longer than an hour. When you combine everything all together, boy, you're probably making 20 cents. Like, I don't know.
So with all of them that you have trapped successfully this year, what's your plan? What are you going to do with them?
Like I said, right now I have no real reason to sell them because it would kind of be trading something for nothing.
Yeah.
I have a couple personal goals. Like I said, just with getting good at these skills, learning this craft, becoming proficient in it in all the different steps, right? Like the actual trapping part, I want to get really good at and increasingly good at, sharpen some skills there. And the whole process through right down to the finished product, right? Get quicker, get better, get cleaner. Like there's so many steps to it. I find it super interesting, and it transfers over great too to hunting, right? Like, I mean, you're gonna have to get real good with a knife real quick because if you're not, you're gonna be doing a lot of sewing. And I've been doing my share of sewing, and it sucks. So there's lots of tips and tricks with that too, right? Different methods. One thing I really want to do though is make a coyote fur blanket. So I've seen a couple online. There's a couple floating around social media. There's a couple fur tanneries to the east. One might be in Ontario. I can't remember the name of it. One might even be further north. Something like that. We'll have to check back. But I think they're posting just a lot of these incredible projects that they're doing with furs still. I mean, kind of a little bit of a dying thing, but to the people that acknowledge the fact that it is such a healthy, renewable resource that we can use and maintain and conserve, right? Like if we do everything properly, it should last us, for light years to come, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, they're just making all these really cool products, like out of beaver or coyotes, or all of the trapped furs. Check them out. Like they have really cool gloves or toques, or like the big trapper hat. But the one that really caught my eye was coyote fur blanket. And I gotta say, like, it looks awesome. It looks really cool. You have to check it out.
And then after that, we'll see you in the full length coat walking in, like, what was it? The Dumb and Dumber movie where they're in the big fur coats walking into the banquets and stuff.
Yeah. I'm also actually thinking of starting an underwear line, coyote fur underwear. I mean, can you get softer than that?
Maybe. You never know. You never know.
You'd be the stealthiest person in the bush by far. Hey, I'll make you one. I'll put you on my list.
Nice. I'll be one of the trial models, not for the magazine, just for the comfort. And hey, here's what you should do with the waistline. So this, I guess this question maybe transitions into another topic, but flipping back to the bow hunting side, I want to get into the ABA a little bit, but while we're on the coyote topic, I'm assuming you've gotten a coyote with your bow before, because you have the Master Bowhunter Award, which means you had to have gotten your small game. And I'm assuming you have a coyote with a bow. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I probably have about 30 coyotes with a bow.
Really?
Yeah, and that's not a brag. That's probably because I was a really poor deer or big game animal hunter when I started off. So every coyote that came by would eat it. and that was awesome and fun. And, I got, pretty good at shooting out of a tree stand and pinning those things down. And awesome too, right? You're helping out the deer, all the same stuff like we just talked about.
Yeah.
But I noticed it got very expensive quickly to launch a fully set up hunting arrow at a lot of coyotes. So I've kind of slowed that down a little bit. The odd time I'll get sucked into it, but
I'm 0 for 2 for coyotes with my bow, and I don't have any excuses other than, I messed it up. One, I was looking at a deer to my right, and I see something out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, what the heck? And I'm on the ground, and it's like hopping, and I'm just like, turn, and I had half a second, and I missed, and another one, I had my yardage wrong, and I just, they're tough.
I mean, they're a small animal, and realistically, when you look at their kill zone, like, you're like this, like, that's not very big. You see that?
Yeah.
Like it's not very big. And like I was going to say, I was really thinking of
deer. They are dodgy when they're in the field, and they will spot you from 100 yards out. Like, they're cagey.
That's what I was going to say. I think I'm going to save the coyotes for maybe the snares, or maybe sniping them with the small caliber rifles in coyote season. So
yeah,
because it stacks up. Arrows are expensive.
For sure. So in the intro, I said recognized by the Alberta Bowhunters Association. So you have a couple different things that contributed to this award. But in 2024, if my Googling and ABA research did me correctly, in 2024, you were awarded the Master Bowhunter Award. And for those of you that might not know what the Master Bowhunter Award is, bowhunter must take 4 of these Alberta species: whitetail, mule deer, elk, moose, bighorn sheep, antelope, black bear, cougar, goat, or bison. So when you started, I guess, whether it was working your way to that award or you got a couple animals and been like, hey, I can achieve this. What was the first animal, your first big game animal that you got with the bow that helped contribute to this award? You remember?
Yeah. Oh boy. I don't know. I think a few of them happened at the same time. It took me a little while to join the ABA, which I have no excuse for it. I highly recommend every bow hunter to really look into it, because they do so much for bow hunting in Alberta. and they do a ton for the wildlife as well. Like they're looking out for everyone, for everyone's best interests. Like it's such an awesome group to be a part of. But I didn't actually join till I think it was 2018, and I just jumped all in and became a life member.
Right.
I think I did buy intermittent kind of membership years, way back in the past. I wouldn't even be able to tell you what they were, buy a year here, kind of skip a couple and then buy it again. And, but I decided to jump in with both feet in 2018, get the life membership, and haven't looked back. So I think in 2018, I didn't get a whitetail because I was kind of holding out for a special one at the time who definitely reduced my life expectancy. But I think, Ricky would have been my first whitetail buck on there. And then got a black bear, I believe in 2020. Pretty solid Pope and Young, kind of 19.5-inch range. And then, I've been getting some decent moose in the bow zone. I still haven't quite cracked that Pope and Young. And then I got a couple smaller muleys, which was great because it still counts as an antlered muley, and that goes towards that belt buckle. So I was pumped.
Yeah, it was for me in the ABA, it was something that I heard about, and then with more of the social media and online presence, we learned so much about different organizations, and there's more information available to us to learn and research, right? So it's funny because I joined, this will be, I guess, my third year. I've done 2 complete years, and I've got a bear, I got a moose before I joined, and I'm like, oh man. And I like we talked about a little bit, I want to challenge myself. And when I got my new bow a couple of years ago, I'm like, man, I'm going to get that small game award. I get to shoot year round, and I'm going to go look for those magpies and this and that and this and that. And it was that self challenge. And it's almost it. I remember the first time I went to the banquet, and I believe it was last year. And of course, you and I were talking there, and just so many different people from the community that you see, and it just lit that fire under me to be better at bow hunting, to really hone in on it, to be like, man, don't pick up that rifle and head out when you're getting frustrated. Like, just stick with it. And it's relit that passion for me. And it does, I mean, like you said, the organization does so much more to help promote bow hunting in Alberta. They're part of talks with the government and regulation changes and so much more. So it's just a great thing to be a part of. And while we're talking about that, for anyone listening, April 11th is the banquet date. It's in Red Deer this year. I'll put a link up on the bottom of this video where you can get tickets. But yeah, the ABA has been, I like what it's done for me in the last couple of years, and looking forward to doing more.
Yeah. And if anyone has any questions, by all means, reach out. Like I have had a few people reach out to me in the past. Not that I'm on the executive board or know all the stuff and things, but I can get you the answers if you need them and I don't know them. But I really believe in that group. Ever since I've joined, it's been tremendous. And it's ever changing, right? The kind of turnover is happening. There's a lot of newer members, a lot of younger members. So don't be scared that it's, it's not an old boys club. It's, there's people of all ages, men, women, like everyone doing their thing from all different stages, all different walks of life, and all coming together kind of for one cause and to be a part of our group. And it's awesome. It really is.
Yeah, I think the thing that I found most about it too, not knowing what to expect. Did I know some of the people that were at the banquet? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I sat at a table with Kyle Short and Michelle and a few people that I talked to, and I didn't know what to expect, but it felt like everyone was on the same team. You weren't looked at any different. And of course, the ABA banquets are like, yeah, whatever you have, bring a mount, bring a picture, bring a story and do this. And there was, at least I didn't see it, any ridicule about, oh, who would have brought that or this or that. And it's an appreciation of fellow archers. And it's like we talk about, is that I'm not competing with anybody other than myself. Yeah, would it be great to submit the largest whitetail and get the plaque for it for that year? Yeah, absolutely. But I can tell you from the people that were awarded those ones, I was like, oh my God, holy crap, nice work. And I was happy for them, but it's more of a challenge for me to, here's what I want to accomplish. Here's what I want to achieve. And it's that personal compete. I'm competing with myself. I'm not competing with anybody else. And I found that to be so heartwarming.
Yeah. And I think that is the biggest misconception as soon as people hear awards. I mean, it's not a big hoorah, like competition. I really don't want people to shy away because I think it's competition. You can get involved in the awards as much as you want or not, but realistically, a lot of the awards are based on personal achievements. So it's you versus you, and it just pushes you to maybe do a little better, right? If you're stuck at a number and you got your best deer, now you have something to shoot for because maybe it'll get you into that next category or whatever. I think it's healthy. I think it's fun. I think that the community there isn't, big hoorah competition. If you had a bad year, you're not going to get booed off stage. Like, I've had lots of bad years. I'd probably be getting the most boos. But that doesn't, all jokes aside, that doesn't happen. Everyone's celebrating everyone's wins together, whether it's, your first buck or your first moose, which my first moose wasn't much bigger than my first buck. And they're both, both pretty tiny, all that kind of thing. And, celebrating and laughing and, having that camaraderie with maybe the misses and failures too, because I mean sometimes those are a funny story or just a really good story. I mean, not all of them end in and I shot a world record.
Right?
There's very few and far between of those, but it's just fun. We all have the same interests. We're all helping each other out, and that's the biggest thing too. Like if you want to get really good at 3D, you go talk to the 3D guys or girls. Or if you want to get really good at moose hunting and you see that guy that's always, winning these moose awards, like you go talk to that guy.
And the thing is, most of the time, they're willing to share what works for them. Like even Craig Temple last year did a seminar on whitetails before the banquet. He had the pictures. He's like, here's what I do. Here's my favorite day. Here's what I look for. Like, such a generous group that's willing to help other people. It's awesome.
I've never asked a question that was unanswered there. And I've talked to a lot of people that I've never even met. So
I think the only thing you're not going to get is GPS coordinates to a spot. But other than
I mean, I have asked that. I'm still trying to find these coordinates, but maybe it's a wild goose chase. I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. So when I think we talked a little bit about it, all the trophies, on the walls that people bring to the ABA, to the horn scoring events, you have dove into something in the last few years that I find really cool. And as technology changes and as things advance, there's different ways to preserve things. And you started up your own company, which is Trophy Vault. And I know you've been online with that. You've been at the horn scoring events. You've been at the ABA. You've been at the SCI functions and whatnot. So I don't want to botch it and say, here's what it does, but tell us a little bit about Trophy Vault, what it is, and how and why you wanted to start. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's something that I'm really passionate about. So I started Trophy Vault a couple of years ago, and what it is a company based in Alberta, like my company based right here in Alberta, that does 3D scanning of antlers and horns and hunting trophies. I mean, we can scan a lot of other things, but my focus is for the hunting industry. The reason why and how it works is with a 3D scanner, I can get the exact blueprints of your antlers or horns and put them into a computer file. And what this does is it keeps them safe. So if you ever have a fire, theft, or any other unrepairable damage happens to them, or you just want to replicate them, you can just use that file now with the technology and 3D printing. We're branching out like crazy right now. Like I've almost been working so much in the background. We're kind of losing, we're still working forwards, but it seems like I'm not doing much, but trust me, like it's like every night in the workshop, like grinding this out. And I really believe in it. It's really cool. So why I actually started it is in 2013 after, well, it was 10 years, right? I started in 2003. So 10 years later, I shot my first, what I would call trophy whitetail deer. It meant the world to me. He was a great deer, totally respectable. I was so excited. I took it into a taxidermist the next day. So had it in my hands for less than 24 hours, and I never saw the antlers again. So I kept on getting fed the stories that, it was coming up. A year would go by. No, yours is next up with the next batch of whitetail deer. More time went by, and the taxidermist ended up passing away, and the case went closed. Fish and Wildlife let me go see if I could find my antlers, and nothing was ever found. So that's the story of my first ever, big whitetail deer. And I thought, man, there's got to be some way. There's got to be some way to protect that, some way, somehow. So now it can, right? I'm not saying, before anyone gets mad at me, I'm not saying every taxidermist is bad. I just ran into the lucky one. I hope. But unfortunately, I will say this, little asterisk. There have been, after telling this story a couple times, there are more people in my shoes than I ever imagined. So, which is too bad. I mean, this is our passion. This is what we really like to do. And that's just it's not fair, right? That's not really cool. But now you can get them scanned. Call me. I can come right to your place. All my stuff is mobile. We can scan it. You can get those exact blueprints on a little thumb drive. And theoretically, like, you're good forever. And it's good for this trophy vault thing's good for a lot of reasons. I'm finding a lot of really big hunters too with, 50 mounts all over their house are starting to think, what's going to happen to all these, right? This is my life's passion that they've spent, a lot of thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on taxidermy, but their kids don't have room to store it, or, where is it going to go? So they've actually called me to come to their house and scan everything, all of their trophies, and catalog them and put all of those on like an external hard drive. So that way, if, their time comes, their children can always have a copy of, their father or grandfather's or mother's or whoever's passion, right? Which was hunting in the outdoors. And on those files, again, they'd have those exact blueprints. They could get them recreated later on if they wanted to. Because, I mean, that's tough. I don't know if I could fit an extra 40 or 50 mounts if I had a father that hunted like crazy. Like, I wouldn't know what to do with them. Right? Not many of us can just go and build a $300,000 barn dominium to put them in. I mean, what are the options? Right?
Yeah.
Like it's a huge space thing, and you can shrink them all into something that's, fits in your hand.
Yeah, those mini figurines I find are so amazing. Like I never really shot anything. I've joked about this with you before. I'm like, I'm going to get you to do it one day, Logan. I'm going to get a deer big enough that I can do it with. But just to have like on your desk or on a workbench or something, right? Like, those are cool.
And for all different reasons, right? People like, to have one of those at their office or take to their cabin, or even give one to a buddy that helped drag a big deer out of the bush, or helped with the hunt, or it was some sort of a team effort kind of thing. So it's really cool. And kind of what you alluded to, I have scanned a ton of animals at this point, and I've never scanned a world record. So I've scanned a lot of animals that lots of people would say aren't really even trophy size to most. I mean, I know that's a loosey-goosey term,
Yeah.
but what's powerful behind those ones is the story. It was their last deer hunt with their grandfather before he passed away. So to them, they could shoot the next world record whitetail, but that world record whitetail would probably be still sitting, to the side or underneath of, you know, grandpa's last deer hunt kind of thing, right? So there's a lot more reasons than just pure size to get it done. And geez, we get into things like sheep or pronghorn antelope, where these hunts are a little far and few between, right? You need so many years for a tag or what have you, that just protecting them or making more memories or making some little miniatures just really adds to it.
No, you're right. And it's that it doesn't have to be the world records. It's something that has special meaning to the person that has harvested it. Right. And I kind of, when you were talking about that, I'd never even thought of that. Like, oh, you could do these and you can give them to other people that were with you on your hunt. And it's funny because I have an elk that you don't even see on my walls here. But one of the elks that mean the most to me is the one that I cut off all the tines, made keychains out of them, and I gave them, there were 6 tines on it, gave them to the people that influenced me and that were there for me in the outdoors worlds and through hunting and wherever it was. And I was like a token of my appreciation for their friendship, their support, loyalty, all that. But man, I know what I'm doing with my next animal. I'm coming.
Yeah, see, you didn't have to chop it all up. We could have just just could have made them little ones.
But you're right. It's preserving that special memory that you have of it, for sure.
Because I like that, and even without trophy vault or anything, like you just did it by yourself. That's how much it meant to you. So it's powerful in your story itself that you would do that, because it. I mean, I've had lots of people, or not lots, a couple people say, "Oh, why am I getting my deer scan? It's just a deer." It's like, really? So what happens if your house burned on, lit on fire tomorrow? What? Oh, I'd probably grab my deer. Well, why? Oh, because
it means something.
Yeah, it means something, and a lot of people take, not convincing, but it's like just like a little like, are you sure it doesn't mean something to you? It's like, oh yeah. And there's a lot of us like yourself that are just passionate about it just outright. And I think a lot of us are like that. And it's something that's worth protecting. It's kind of your own little personal insurance, right? You get insurance on your quad, your bike, your jewelries. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Jennifer Lopez has insurance on her butt. Like, you can get insurance on everything these days. Like, why not your mounts?
Yeah. So I guess like the end result of that is someone did get the scan and they got that digital file that they could print something out 3D, and heaven forbid they ended up losing their mount. Basically, it's a 3D print. A taxidermist would paint the antlers, find a cape, and kind of redo it so that they could still have that memory, essentially.
Yeah, and that's what we're working through right now. We've purchased multiple printers, multiple products, multiple machines, like all the stuff and things. We're working with a bunch of different artists right now to get it all painted up, so it's like bang on the money. So yeah, there's going to be some really cool life-size replications done very soon.
Right. And obviously they can get in touch with you via anything. Does Trophy Vault have a website or anything you want to share where people can get in touch with you for that?
Yeah, trophyvault.ca. I think it's trophyvault.3D scan on Instagram. And if not, just give me a shout through all my socials. I'm usually sharing, a thing here and there on latest updates or projects from Trophy Vault itself. Or just give me a call on my cell phone. That works too.
For sure. And for everyone watching, I've already put up the Trophy Vault logo and all the information where you can get in touch with Logan. But yeah, that's awesome. That technology exists. I'm always amazed at where technology goes and what it can do. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll share actually one other little project that I thought was kind of mind blowing. So I drew my archery pronghorn antelope last season, so in 2024, and it took me 13 years to get the tag, or that's when I decided to draw it. I think it was over 10 years, but still, it's a long time to get that tag.
Right? Feels like forever.
Yeah, it did, and I had to wait till it, lined up with my work schedule and time off to do it. And I mean, it's time, right? And you're buying tags every year, and you don't want to waste it. I was lucky enough to be successful on a pretty nice, respectable antelope, which the plan was to get mounted. But so what I did is I actually did a Euro on it, cleaned up the skull because you have to get the horns off and do the whole cleaning process. So I 3D scanned the skull itself, and I made a replication of the inside of the horns, and that's what I used for my shoulder mount. So I put the real outside sheaths, the horns, onto the fake plastic inside that I created through Trophy Vault onto my shoulder mount, and that allowed me to not cut my original pronghorn antelope skull, because usually you have to do your skull plate, right? Okay. So you essentially destroy it. The rest is discarded, and that's all you have. Yeah. This allowed me to keep that original skull intact. So then I scanned the horns, made replica horns, and put them on the skull. So now I have that original skull with fake horns and the mount with the real horns up on the wall with the fake insides. So I have two identicals, one as a shoulder mount and one as a Euro, which is super cool, because if you can only hunt these things, 2-3 times in a lifetime these days, yeah. I mean, they're pretty special. I mean, I'm never going to forget that hunt. That was one of my, by far most memorable hunts. I was grinding it out there by myself for a handful of days before, I had to get some reinforcements, because you just couldn't do it all. You couldn't hold the decoy in the 40K winds and range find and shoot. Like, it was kind of a battle. So it's something I'll never forget, but I just think that's super cool. So I have a Euro mount in my office, and the shoulder mount is in my living room, and it's so awesome. It's something that I'd recommend to anyone, because like I said, you can't shoot a ton of them anymore, right? That's just the draw system, right? And the cycle that it's in.
Yeah. And what we're at now, who knows what the priority you'll need to be at next time you do it. It's
right. And
it might be 15 the next time it comes through. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's thinking outside the box. That's innovative. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And they're awesome looking Euro mounts. They're one of my favorite. And even just like a bighorn sheep, I really think a Euro mount bighorn sheep looks sharp. But I mean, if you get one, it's pretty tough not to do the full shoulder. But I mean, yeah, you could probably have both.
Well, and with Trophy Vault's technology, you're able to have the best of both worlds if you make the right decisions, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's lots of cool projects going on. We're building every day, and really looking forward to seeing where this goes. And it's really cool because it's something that's right here in Alberta, Canadian, not fighting the tariffs, not fighting, the US dollar. So
you're mobile, so you don't have to take things and transport them. And that's good.
I mean, we've all probably lost a parcel or two shipping. Like, that's a parcel you probably don't want to lose. I mean, it's happened before. So, we can totally skip that step and come right to me.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of trophies, I want to touch on a couple of your monster bucks. And if anyone is a subscriber of Wild TV or the app or whatnot, you've obviously been part of the Bowzone Live crew for 8 years now?
Yeah, geez, we were talking about this last year. I don't even know if we could pick it. I think it's 6.
Is it 6?
I think we just finished season 6.
Okay,
maybe I'm wrong, but it's been a bit, and it's flown by. Like, it's been so fun. Yeah, lots of great members a part of that group, and I can't believe what's happening to time.
for sure. So there's a couple of your stories on the bucks, and you name your bucks. So you're like me. Not everyone does, but Ricky, and then that was 2021. Was that Ricky? I think that was 2021.
Yeah, that was 2021. Yeah.
And then was Charlie the next year, like the following year?
No, that was Tony.
That was Tony. Okay, I got him mixed up, but
Scarface, Tony Montana. Yeah, he was 2022. I had a little bit of a break year in 2023, let's call it, where I just didn't shoot anything.
yeah.
And then, yeah, Charlie was 2024, day one, which was super cool because I've never shot anything on opening day in my life ever. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think it was one of those ones where, I mean, I'll be transparent when I say this. We watch your videos, we see what you do, and you're like, that damn Logan did, like, how the hell does he do it? And I'll be honest, there's a little bit of jealousy in there. It's like, what is he doing? Like, I don't understand how he does this, but obviously the time and effort that you put into doing this is working for you. Because if it was just by pure luck, you wouldn't be getting the caliber deer that you're getting so consistently. So I'm going to ask the $1 million question: is what is the secret to your success on connecting with what I'll call once in a lifetime deer for me, but those caliber deers?
I really don't know what it is. I mean, I just grind it out. I'm a pretty hard worker out there. I wish I had some, magic sauce I could, share, but that's not what it is. I just spend a lot of time scouting, like, all year round. Like January, February is one of my favorite times to scout. For the upcoming season, obviously things change with different crops or weather or whatever else. It's just lots of time in, and I feel like knowing when the moment to strike is huge. Like in 2024, when I was scouting 5 days before season, watching a 160 plus inch old warrior of a buck do the same thing like 5 nights in a row or whatever it was, like right up to opening day, like you can't let that go. Like,
so you're running trail cameras as well. Obviously, I know you're a trail cam junkie like me, and you have thousands of them out in the bush. But you're also out there sitting in the stands or from your truck with the binos, just watching the fields that you're hunting.
Whatever I can. Like, I'll even set up provisional tree stands to just sit and watch. Right, if I have to climb a tree 25 feet or whatever, just to get a view of tucked around field. I'll do that, or sit up there with a spotting scope kind of thing. I do a lot of driving, right? Kind of the slow drive-bys, checking things out, trying not to spook anything at the same time. It's just always keeping a finger on the pulse, maybe paying attention to what the farmers are doing. For example, our season opens up September 1st. Maybe, there's a couple farmers in the area that are taking their crops off a day or two before that. Like, that might be enough to swing things or change patterns or do something, right? So it's always keeping that in mind. And talk to the farmers. Like, they're usually willing to help if they're, if they're letting you hunt on their land, and they're more than likely wanting you to be successful as well. And if you can kind of team up with some info,
why not? Yeah.
Awesome.
The big bucks that you shot, like Charlie and Ricky and Tony and stuff, were they all in the same kind of year? Were they all September-ish, or did they span out throughout the fall season? Or
one of each month.
One of each month. So there's no special month. It's
yeah. I found Ricky. I was really close to in September, and then he's still, even with way too many trail cameras than I should ever probably mention.
The addiction is real. I understand.
He disappeared for 5 weeks, like poof, gone, like driving around, calling friends, family. Hey, can you drive out here? I'm at work. I got a sneaky feeling. Oh, he's not there. Okay, crap. Yeah. 5 weeks disappeared, and I ended up getting him on October 28th. Okay. So, which is a really key time, right? It's that, pre-rut's kicking up pretty heavy right then. Everything's right about to blow.
Yeah.
Which was a great time to get him. And he was a unit. He was a deer that I've been after forever, had an absolute ton of history with. It was a I always thought it was going to be a Cinderella story that was just going to kind of vanish and, disappear.
Yeah.
I really felt like my odds were like tiny. Just, trying to stay positive as much as possible too, but just with all the factors of the bow zone, right? There's traffic and, farmers and people and other hunters on every single quarter section.
Yeah.
Like I was just, doing the odds.
So
but the fact that one worked out was crazy.
So the night you got Ricky, you hadn't seen him in a while, or you started seeing him again on camera, or?
I got one picture of him. I think it was a day or two prior to. I think it was 2 days prior to that.
And you're like,
the reason why I didn't go out the next day after him is because the wind was bad. So that was, and by that time he totally could have vacated the area. I didn't even know he was still there. Like that was, boom, he pops up over here. I had to wait, like I said, a day and a half to go out there because I hunted it the evening of the 28th.
Yeah.
He could have been miles, long, long gone. I was like, do you know what? The wind's good. And I wasn't hunting for him much. I wasn't hunting hard because I was trying to hunt smart.
Mm-hmm. Which can be hard to do because you're
super hard to do. Is driving me absolutely up the wall. But yeah, I kind of went for, I think that was basically my second sit for him that season. The first sit was in September where he did come out into the field and was about 100 yards away. And he was working towards me and kind of rode up and down a hill and kind of veered off. And yeah, it was a tough one. I ended up walking past him when he was laying down at 16 yards. I didn't even realize it was him. I was walking in to put a trail camera and keeping a pretty good pace just with, like, it was a hot day. It was like plus 30, like brutal t-shirt, like light pants, just whatever little boots I had on kind of thing. And a trail cam in hand, was walking through a field kind of on the clumpy divide between like the weeds and grasses and the crop. So it was like kind of a pain, but trying to keep pace. Caught a little bit of brown in the corner of my eye, and it was not far away, but kind of a slough. I was like, slough grass. Just got a weird feeling. I was like, your binos are right here. Give it a look. And sure enough, he's there looking at me. Like I could see his split brow, and like my heart just stopped. I don't think I, took another breath for 5 minutes after that. And I basically kept pace, and I did a button hook and just walked right back out. And he just stayed there. But I didn't say a thing. I didn't go put up that camera. I just got out of there and freaked out later.
Started calling everybody. You're like, guess what happened?
Yeah, like 16 yards from a 209-inch deer is insane on the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like, I found you. But yeah, it was crazy. So there was like the one sit in September didn't work out, and just so happened the stars aligned and I got him on the 28th of October.
So with the information that you collect, like from your scouting, from the trail cams and whatnot, I'm assuming you have a couple different setups, whether they're field edge, travel corridors, bedding areas, like you're set up for any possibility kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I do cover a little bit of area for sure with my permissions, and they're all different, right? It's not like I have the bomb area that this is where I shoot all the big deer in and this is where it always happens. It's never like that. Some people have those spots, which is sweet. I wish. but everything, there's so many factors that impact everything. So I have a really cool funnel spot, for example, that it's such a money spot. But if the crop isn't what the deer want on the west side of that fence, useless.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So like as much as you want to hold on, and usually early season, there's always things kind of filtering through there anyway. It seems like when they want food in September, like they just bail. So it's kind of brutal. Like they'll walk through there, once in a while, and they think, oh, maybe I'll have a chance, seeing them in August. It's like come hunting season, there's no point. You just start learning your area and what impacts what.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's no reason. Like I do have one spot, like on paper, like it's got food, water, a good chunk of bush, like bedding areas, hills, like kind of has all the stuff and things, secluded areas, and it's brutal. Like for hunting, like I've never shot really anything good there, and but on paper it looks like it should be perfect. So I don't know if it's like a coyote population thing or
something just keeps them away from there. Yeah.
I really don't know what it is. It should be way better than it is. But yeah, you just gotta spend the time out there, learn the area. Not every field edge they're walking through. I mean, I have a lot of cameras that are, will get nothing. But if I move it 50 yards up, that's where their cut across is, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of gotta watch them. You gotta kind of know their habits, and that's a good thing about hunting for as long as I have now. And I've been lucky enough to keep some of my permissions for quite a long time, so I've really got to know their areas, right? Like I just know the trails. Like I know if I'm gonna go out and put up 4 cameras, they're gonna go here, 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 and here, right? Done. To start with, kind of thing. But yeah, it's learning your areas, learning their tricks, learning their habits, and when things change, what you kind of have a idea of what they're gonna what they're gonna do next.
Yeah. And like you talked about, that scouting in like that January, February time is I find so much information when I'm shed hunting that you can see where trails are in the snow, because in the summertime or even in the fall when there's still leaves on the trees, you don't even know that trail exists. But because you've seen it in the wintertime, and I get it, the feeding areas change and the different seasons will put them in different areas. But I have so many different setups on things that I've discovered during shed hunting season and in the snow and whatnot, that it just gives you intel. And I know exactly what you're talking about too when you say 50 yards from where you have that camera, something else passes. I have that in kind of in a bedding area where there's a pretty decent heavy game trail on. And I have a camera there, and I'm like, for a couple of years, I'm like, I don't need to put another one on the other one. They're going to do that. I'm going to get the same animals. Logan, I put up a camera there, and what passes on that one trail does not go on the other trail. And I'm like, how did it not go here? How did it get from here to here? And it's embarrassing how many cameras I run in like a quarter section of land. It's just like, I got to have everything covered, and I need to know what's happening. And yeah, it's crazy. They're smart. They're smart.
Yeah. And I've even had 2 cameras on one tree before, right? Where
pointing in a different direction.
It's actually been in a corner of a field, so like this.
Yeah.
And I think the animals are kind of coming this way, so I'll point the camera that way. When in reality, so again, if this is the corner, they're almost like going around the camera, so they'll like swoop around. And I don't think it was because of the camera at all. I think now that I look back in it, there's a bit of a roll in the hill that they just seem to like walking on instead of like going right down into the corner of the bush.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to you. I know I can't, like, I draw you a map.
Yeah.
I need a whiteboard. But you kind of know what I mean. Like I was just, it was the difference between having my camera facing this way and that way.
Right.
Like it was like nothing to everything. All the animals all of a sudden. So it's like, yeah, it's just little things you kind of got to pay attention to, and you put all the pieces together.
Is all your fleet of cameras all cell cams now?
No. They have their purpose for sure. I mean, they're a pretty big bonus using cell cams. Absolutely. Do I think they necessarily give you animals, right? Some people are like, oh, that's, is it cheating? Is it, to have that instant information? Well, okay, go run after a whitetail deer, see if you can go get it, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But I still really find there is a place for just the old school non-cellular cameras. Like there's even spots where you just can't get reception, even with extended antennas, things like that. If something's going goofy, it's, it's always searching. You're just wearing down the battery, things like that. So I'll just slap one of those in there and call her a day. I try to do also when I'm walking past cameras, like into a tree stand, for example, I won't use a cell cam there because I don't need it. If I'm going to walk past it, I'll, try to scent proof up, right? If I'm in my hunting gear, I'll wear gloves, pop a card out, pop a card in, and check it on my phone when I'm up in the tree, right? Yeah. There's another good example. Lots of different things. So no, they're definitely not all. And I've had some pretty good luck with some of the newer built non-cellular cameras. Like everything's getting better. The picture quality, video quality, sound quality now, which is also kind of cool, hearing them grunt and fight and whatever else.
I still love putting mine on video when I run. People will call it heavy cards. Like I use 128 gigabyte cards, but I love the videos and I find I get so much more information from them. And normally it's a 10-second, sometimes depending on the area, I'll put a 20-second video. And where if it was just a cow and a calf moose running by, although my delay time on it is only 5 seconds, I don't get the bull coming out and I don't hear the bull grunting, but I have it on video and I'm like, oh, cow and calf, or what's going on? Antlers come out. Oh, wow. And it's just, I mean, I use up all those 128 gigabytes on my cards and I get back to home and I put it on the computer and Shanez knows that. She's like, are you going through your cards? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'll see you in the morning. And there I am and I'm just watching, right? And sometimes I'll flick through it and I'll like high speed through it. And it's like, I just don't want to miss anything. And it's fun. It's fun. It's entertainment. So
no, they're awesome. And you're right. They are super entertaining, but what a great tool, right? I mean, and at the same time, you don't need 500 of them out there. Sure, they're fun. And we all kind of, pick an extra one or two up every year and that kind of thing. But there's something to be said about just, spending a little more time out there, like in person, and you'll really nail them down with one or two cameras, for example, right? You don't
exactly.
Like, it kind of turns into its almost own little side hobby, like everything else. But it's fun. It is.
And when I go through those trail cameras, dude, I tell you, my external hard drive has it categorized by the year and then trail bottom, crossing, intersect. Like I have names for where they all are. And I just and I save them. I should right click on the properties of that folder just to see how much space it is tying up. But it's like, and I think it goes back to probably 2019 is where my addiction, I'll call it an addiction because it is, started, where I'm just like, no, I save it. And it's funny because I'll be for whatever, a video purpose or something, and I'll be like, oh, where was that? And in my brain, I'm like, that was this location of probably this year. And I go back and I find it. And when someone finds this external hard drive that I have and go, what the heck is this? They're going to have hours of animals walking by to enjoy themselves with. Yeah.
And it's awesome. And it worked out really cool. For example, like the, couple of my bigger deer, I have had a lot of history with them. So now I can go back from those years, compile all of the footage that I got of Charlie or Ricky or whoever. Mm-hmm. And it just makes such a cool visual story to add to, everything else. Right. Yeah. And I think it's really cool to see just, how they grew year to year. 1 year they might've got bigger, 1 year they might've got smaller. 1 year, I had one deer that, got in a fight and he got really scarred up on his face or whatever, right? It's just cool stories to look back on.
I've told a couple people this. I don't think I've told it in a podcast or on my social media or not. But if you've been following me for a while, the buck that I've been chasing for a while is called BB, for bumpy brow. He's got these spikes that come off the bases of his brow tines. And then I have another one that I've been chasing, which has been Bo Tang. And long story short, when I'm one of those late nights when I come home from a hunt and I put my cards in, something clicked in my head, Logan, and I'm like, it's the same bloody deer. And I'm like, it can't be. It doesn't have the spikes, and that's all I was looking for. But his right side at the very end of his main beam has these 3 tines that just kind of overlap. And I'm like, no. And I started going back through the folders, dude, and it's the same deer. Like I am blown away that I'm like, well, I know I've seen him, but then I didn't see him. And then this other deer comes and they look the same. But I mean, I'm on private land in the bow zone, so the genetics has probably been passed around. But so when you tell the story of like to see how they've changed, I'm like, wow, how did I not notice this a couple of years ago that it's the same deer and he's just changed? But it's the same deer.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, for example, Charlie, the buck I got on opening season in 2024, he was a 8.5-year-old deer when I got him. And I don't know if people would have recognized him. So he ended up being a really big, heavy 5 by only a 3 on the one side. Mm-hmm. And he used to be like a 5 by 4, or even 5 by 5. Like, just his frame completely changed, and to kind of drop that, but because of the history I've had with him, I even have 2 full sets of sheds with him. You could always tell there was a uniqueness to his left side. And I mean, unfortunately, the year before he was probably 175-inch gross deer. Mm-hmm. But he dropped a little, but that is not a reason for me to, pass him up. He was still over a 160 gross at an 8.5-year-old whitetail deer. Is pretty cool.
Yeah. And you've sent some of the teeth in for your deer to be aged before, right?
Yeah. And I mean, there's multiple places to get that done at, but one really cool one now is right here in Alberta is in Lethbridge. So a cool little like sideline thing. I think they're actually coming up to the Alberta Bowhunters Association banquet on April 11th to do a little spiel.
Wow.
About tooth aging in animals. And it's just a really cool piece of information because we all guess, right? We all like to guess and think we know. And some of us do. And some of us, maybe it's a little more on the guess side. But I find I don't know. It's a really cool tidbit of info to know. And maybe that changes how you're going to gauge your future target bucks. For example, if I could, I don't really want to ever shoot a 4.5-year-old deer, like kind of 5.5 is kind of where I want to start. But a lot of my deer that I've shot, or a couple of the bigger ones, have been 6.5. So maybe I'd like to even wait till then. But that's a risky game in the bow zone with all the hunters and traffic and things we mentioned before. Yeah. But it just shows you maybe what their potentials can be at what ages, especially when you start to really know a deer or have history with a deer. So it's super cool. Yeah, you send them a couple teeth from the bottom jaw, which isn't used for mounting or anything like that. Usually if you're doing a Euro, you're using just the top. But yeah, it's a pretty easy process and it's super cool.
Cool. Speaking of history with animals, we're at that time of year where my brain starts going to spring bear hunts, and you have history with a bear that kind of captivates us all and probably gives you nightmares literally as you sleep in the box blind chasing him. But you're chasing a bear that you've called Fossil. Are you thinking about him yet?
No.
Not yet? Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to put it in your brain.
Oh, yeah. Fossil's on my brain.
How many years have you been looking at him and have been after him?
So, yeah, this is a big mature black bear that my buddy Clay and I found in 2020. So this is year number 6 after the same bear. I have not yet seen him with my own eyes. If you follow some of my stuff, I built a box blind last year. Like, it's all sealed up, and I've spent 6, I think, overnighters in it last year, and one was a double overnighter. I was, I think, 38 hours straight in that box.
That's dedication, man. That's dedication.
Yeah, like I'm just at the spot or at the point where I don't know what else to do or change or think. So, like, we'll just grind this out the hard way, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really hope he comes. He was at the bait last year when I was in the box, but I was sleeping because it was at like 2 a.m. Obviously, not legal hunting time. And to be honest, like way in those deep dark corners of the woods, like you can't even see your hand 6 inches in front of your face, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I go to bed too, and most of the bears come and play and scratch at the door and
Nerve-wracking, scary. As comfortable I am around bears, like that would still give me some goosebumps and some.
Oh yeah, the startle factor is pretty good because it does feel like they could almost push that thing over at times.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, it's pretty sturdy. I'm pretty good at over-engineering what I build, so I have faith in it. And I don't know. I guess I'm captain of the ship. If it goes down, I'm going down too.
What are you using for baits there? Like what kind of food are you giving them?
Really like the oats and use cooking grease. That's something that's kind of easier to carry in. A little bit on the cheaper side of baits, and they can't just grab and take it away. I do like using red meats occasionally. Sometimes it's kind of annoying to work with. Have I had more or less success with or without using red meat? I don't think so. I definitely use beavers, have beavers in a beaver cage. That's one of, a black bear's favorite things probably in this world to eat. So those are super important, but have I found something that Fossil like just loves? No. Which it drives me nuts. Like I wish I've tried everything. I pretty much have like popcorn, candies, donuts. Like I've unwrapped thousands and thousands of, my friends' kids' Halloween treats. Like even guys at work are like, here's your bucket of old Halloween candies. Like unwrapping them and dumping them in a bin. Like I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
As far as an attractant, I think he's just a big old smart mature bear that's gonna come when he comes.
Yeah.
But I do think there's something important to hunting mornings for these big bears. I think. And I don't know what that is. That's really where that ends. But I just
your gut instinct is like it's gonna be a morning.
It's gonna happen in the morning, which means I gotta sleep in a box.
Yeah. And I mean that time of year too, it's not exactly warm out, right? Like it still drops below zero.
Yeah. I learned that lesson kind of the hard way. So I kind of
you have a little Mr. Buddy propane heater, like something in there, or just heavy sleeping?
Just like one of those little self-filling blow-up air mattresses and a sleeping bag, and I just pack warm clothes and jam myself in that sleeping bag, and that's all I got. And I'm basically corner to corner with my head touching the plywood that they're, they seem to, it's like they almost scratch the itch on the back of my neck if they really wanted to.
Yeah. You just have the one site set up there, or do you have multiple bait sites there? Or
yeah, no, I just have the one site there. I mean, there are kind of other bear hunters around, spread out. So I don't want to add another one and get them bouncing around because I think that, I mean, people, especially outfitters or even other bear hunters really know this. Like if you kind of have a bear in the area and you're putting more than one bait in front of them, you'll just get them to bounce around. So you're cutting your odds like in half, right? Because he's going to decide which one to eat at. And if you're not at that one, well, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I was doing last year or the year before. This will be year 3 at the new sites that I'm setting up is base them out quite a bit, like at least 4 to 4.5 kilometers. And I threw a couple test ones up here and there. And the plan this year is, okay, I got my main 2 that are separated. And once I get those up and going, is head further down the line and deeper into the bush and set up another test one to see what's going to come out. But yeah.
It's
I take all the trim and fat from the butcher shops, right? I'm like, hey, fill these drums up. I'm going to pick them up Friday and bring them out. And I've tried the sweets. I've never tried popcorn. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what they're attracted to. I don't think I have one thing that works better than the others. Beavers, of course. I got to build myself some cages or buy some, because as much as I string them up and put them in the trees,
it's not worth it. They seem to get at everything. Like, you got to get a big steel cage. It just, that makes one at least last, right? Otherwise you're going through beavers, and you got to go help help a farmer with a whole bunch of beavers, and all of a sudden
you're buying them from a trapper, right? And
yeah. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden you find half your, bear hunting season, you're actually beaver hunting. And it's, so you kind of got to find that balance of what works and what doesn't, and what's easy and what's doable, right?
Yeah. When you were hunting fossil last year, what was it like, late in the season, or was it getting to the end of May, early June, or was it early when was he there the whole time, or?
I'll have to look back. Like, it's about now that I usually go through all the photos and refresh my brain. But I think, if I remember right, he came out kind of that third week of April. He seems to like kind of early out of the gate.
Yeah.
Which will be really cold in the box. But I'm going to do what I got to do. So I think that was cool with work, whatever else. I couldn't get there like right then. And then I think he showed up, second week of May, kind of spread out. And I think when June hit, he didn't come back anymore. So June can be a hit miss kind of thing with the bear rut, right? I have had years past where he walks in like June 5th kind of thing in the middle of the day. So that's why I just sit for as long as I possibly can, is because it's going to be a fluke. It's going to be a goofy time, 11:30 in the morning, or like, whatever, right? Like, it's not going to be your standard, like, half hour before dark, half hour, whatever. I don't think it's going to happen like that. And then it's saying too, so like I said, between 2026, so this is year number 6, in 2022, didn't get one picture of him at all.
Wow.
So what happened, where he went, we kind of thought maybe he got shot. Maybe he just doesn't like anywhere near me anymore. I don't know. It was I sat and hunted and did my thing, and even on the trail cameras, and leaving the trail cameras up for a little bit, longer. He just didn't come. So that's kind of a weird thing too. I'm really, knock on wood, I don't want that to happen this year, but I just can't seem to gain on him. I don't know what else to do. I'm not in there with quads or machines like all the time. I mean, you have to be sometime, right? At some time, and they kind of get used to that at a point too,
right?
So I really don't know what else, how to beat them.
Smart ones are cautious though, right? Like, even with the group of guys that I used to bear hunt with, it was always, don't drive right to the sites, load your pails, walk it in, and they hear the noise that is distance. But just like any old, mature, wise animal, they're smart. They've survived. They're big for a reason. So it's gonna be tricky.
Yeah,
tricky. What do you think? Any idea what he scores? How tall he is? Like, any guesses?
I don't know. I'm going to throw it out there. I really believe, if I've ever seen like a Boone and Crockett bear, like all-time Boone and Crockett, like 21 inches plus, he's probably going to be the bear to do that. And with age, like I've just been watching him so long. He was a mature bear back 6 years ago, right? So I think I did get a couple of my recent bears. I think they were 9 years old, that 9.5. So like that's pretty mature, right? So if say he was 9 or 10 at the time, I mean, this puts him to 16 already. So he could easily be 18 or 20 for all I know. I mean, their life expectancy in the wild, some say, is up to like 30.
Yeah.
Right? Possibly 35, maybe not so much in Alberta with their tougher climates and wolves and, things like that. But I mean, he's getting up there. So maybe that's going to work in my advantage because he becomes a little weaker as he gets older and needs some easy food. Right? Yeah. Maybe that's how I beat him.
Have you ever thought about hunting him in the fall?
Yeah, it's always crossed my mind. Fall's tough because you want to be busy with everything else.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. It's 100% crossed my mind. Just a lot of people and, people that are guides or outfitters for bear hunters.
Right.
A lot of them have told me, don't waste my time.
Okay.
Is there one or two that say, yeah, give it a go? What can you lose?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I've always thought about throwing a trail camera there. I mean, once you make a bait site in an area for that long, there's always going to be that smell.
Yeah.
Would he come back and check it in the fall? Maybe he does.
Who knows?
Maybe I've been missing the boat for the past however many years. That's totally possible.
Yeah, I've never baited bear in the fall or anything because that's deer, moose, elk season, obviously. But yeah, I mean, when I started bear hunting in the spring, it was to break up the season. And when I went out for the first time, I'm like, yeah, let's go see what it's about. And I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. But yeah, I have no advice for you to how to get to them. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Well, I'm going to keep you guys in the loop. So follow along and I'll show you my adventures and frustrations and hopefully a success story.
Hopefully.
I'm going to throw that out into the universe.
We'll do a follow-up. Follow fossil. Yeah.
That would be super cool. I'm super excited to get back out there. And it's just an awesome time of the year to hunt, right? Things are coming alive, the spring, weather's nice, usually not too many bugs. Like it's awesome. And then when you start learning about black bears and watching them and getting to kind of study their nature, they're just super cool animals. So I'm excited to get out there.
Yeah. No, me too. You want to do a little bit of rapid fire?
Sure.
Learn more about you?
Yes.
All right.
I'm Logan Johnson.
So kind of one-word answers. Don't need any explanations unless you want to give one. But I don't know. There's maybe 10 here. So your favorite animal to bow hunt?
Whitetail deer, for sure.
Mechanical or fixed broadheads?
Fixed.
Morning or evening hunt?
Evening. Never good in the mornings for some reason.
No, never success in the morning for you?
Just not a morning guy, I guess. I don't know. I do way better in the dark. Well,
really?
Hold on. Not in the dark when it's about to get dark. Not the other way around.
I get it. You're used to field dressing and packing out in the dark is what you're saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Your favorite month to hunt?
Oh, boy. Like I said, that's a split. Man, I'm going to throw that one to October.
3D foam or paper target to shoot your bow into?
Both have their purposes, but to pick one or the other, foam's fun.
Okay. Podcast or playlist? What are you listening to in your truck?
Ooh, little both. That's probably 50-50 split. That's the answer.
Okay. Cowboy boots or Crocs?
Well, you won't see me in Crocs. I'll put it that way.
On your trail cameras, are you swapping batteries or you're running solar panels?
Both. Yeah, both.
Both. Okay. One word that's going to describe bow hunting.
Oh boy, one word that describes bow hunting. That's a tough one. Patience.
Perfect. And one word that describes you.
Patient.
No,
I have to be. I just grilled it into myself. If you're not skilled, you got to be patient out there to bow hunt. So that's all.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people would agree with you on that, like whether it's patience in your shot process, on waiting for the right conditions, the right, like, yeah, great word to describe it. I would say another one for me to describe bow hunting is challenging, right? It's it's not easy, but
yeah, something you're always learning something new. It's cool. And that's what I really love about it. Even if you break it down to even bow hunting or archery, you're continually learning, hopefully continually, advancing, getting better, or pushing yourself to. There's room for it. Yeah. It's awesome. It's just, it kind of never ends, right? If you have a hobby that just like, oh, I win, right? Then you're done. Then you got to get a new hobby. With this, it kind of lasts forever. So that's why it has us hooked, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. And I thank you for your time and all the stories and all the pictures and all the videos that you shared throughout this. And I know I've got to learn, although I thought I knew you okay, I learned a whole bunch more about you. So thanks again for coming on and sharing all your stories, advice, knowledge, and expertise with us. I really appreciate it.
I'm like an onion, Jeff.
You got layers.
Thanks for having me on, man. It was fun, and looking forward to watching.
You betcha. And for all of our listeners out there, you can find us again on all your podcast platforms or on my YouTube channel. And special thanks again to Logan Johnson for sharing his voice right here on Voices, a podcast by DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to watch this full episode with videos and pictures of this story on my YouTube channel. Also reminding you to subscribe to my audio podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen.